Somebody please check the channels, make sure that we're live. You smell it, man.
Okay, Shalom, Shalom. Um, and we are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch of Chicago, with our honored guest. You know, we got the mighty brother Damashi Pot among us from the Indiana camps. But first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakash.
Double honors into our apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers, you know, to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen that look like the heathen, and to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning. You know, we give a hearty and true shalom. And I'm going to open with this scripture. This is Habakkuk 2 and 1, and I'm going to read down to verse 3, and it reads, "And I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." All right, and a lot of the things from the apostles and the elder bishops on down to the cadets on the other side of the lines, you know, the things that we've been saying are happening.
That's right.
And you know, and a lot of y'all is in trouble. There's getting ready to be a lot of deaths, a lot of murders, a lot of robberies, a lot of rapes, you know, a lot of violations. You know, and like we're gonna play a few minutes of this video, and they didn't even touch on the subjects that we touched on. I mean, that we're gonna touch on, but it is also there's being videos done by different individuals about the calamities upon women when these power outages and these blackouts and when there's no 911. And you got people in the world doing videos on that scenario because it's real and it's about to happen. So if you don't have the covering of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, or you're not with the man of the Lord, you're going to be a victim. You're going to be a victim. A lot of women, like I said, a lot of women are about to be sexually assaulted.
Right.
Many of you are going to be sexually assaulted by groups of men in relay. All right? In relay. A lot of it's about to be hot girl summer. It's about to be hot girl's nightmare for a lot of you. A lot of you are going to die and be punished by your own devices. So you were on the carousel, riding it freely of your own free will. And now I've been telling you, the carousel is about to ride you. All right? Bring it out, brother.
I just want to make a statement. Hey, in Seattle, they said, hey, don't call any more police for rape, man. They said
Not just there, in other places too.
Michigan too.
Oh yeah, I think Michigan just said because of the gas price, they're not coming off for 911 calls unless it's actively happening at that moment. It gotta be worth it. Gotta be worth the gas.
So right, so basically, if you just got a train ran on you against your will, because a lot of you women had already had trains ran on you. But if you just got a train that ran on you against your will this time, if it's already over, then you just need to crawl yourself down to the hospital or to the police department because they're not coming.
Just file a report there.
All right, just file a report. You know, have your friend or the simp that was trying to get with you that you didn't let. You know, it actually, if he had been there, it might not have gone down that way. You know,
it'll just be on the record.
You know, so it'll be on record, and you know, and if they enjoyed you, they probably gonna come back and get you again.
Yeah,
all right?
$5 a gas, but you don't go, man.
Okay, so bring out that scripture, brother.
I got. Can you hit that one first?
Matthew 24:3.
All right, yeah, because this goes with the title because it basically asks who was observing when the Lord is going to return. Now that's why they undertitled it. Y'all are in trouble because this is. Go ahead, Matthew 24:3.
This is Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
Right. So basically, the disciples came to him to ask him. Everybody else that isn't watching is like the elder had brought up before we kicked this lesson off about the strong man. If he knew that his house was going to be broken into, he'd watch. All right. But this is Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." So these are signs of the visitation to come. So y'all are in trouble because right now we're working on getting them right with Yahweh Shini outside. Who else is observing these days? Who else is really not even trimming the waist? Because this excludes a lot of you fake camps out there, man. Who's really watching, man? Who's really telling the people? When it all comes down to that Revelation 13, 15, and 16, guess what? Hey, you guys mocked at it. You with all of them. All right. So guess what, man? Y'all don't need no protection, man.
Yeah,
all right.
A lot of these, you're about to find out. Matter of fact, 2nd Ezra 16:73, right about now. And then Vataz, hold what you got. We're gonna play a little bit of that video. Give me that 2nd Ezra.
I got it. This is 2nd Ezra 16:73. Then they shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
Right. It's gonna be found out who it's gonna be shown who the real men of the Lord are. You're gonna find out that it definitely ain't no camps that all got matching garments.
Yeah.
That I can promise you. It ain't gonna be no camps that look like Legion of Doom and Demolition. Like they about to come off the top rope with the people's elbow. Ain't gonna be no camps like that. All right, and ain't gonna be none of those guys, man.
So no.
All right, exactly. Who's the baddest? You know, sure enough, ain't gonna be none of them dudes, man. If you would, Baba Shah, brother DJ, if you would put that video on, we're gonna play a few minutes of that video and then let the scriptures continue to roll. And this is the this one. This is the Florida Marquis. I've been doing video responses to his videos for many of years. I've probably offended him a couple times. I'm sure I've offended him a couple times, but but who cares? I had to correct him on lots of things, but nevertheless, as far as information that comes out, his information has been probably more on point than any other person on the internet that speaks on these matters. All right, because what's happening is that all the stuff that's happening in South America, he was calling this 1.5 years, 2 years ago. The stuff that's happening in South America right now with Russian troops and foreign troops that are against America, going against American allies that are down in different countries in South America. He was calling that 2 years ago. All right.
Yeah, I know a sister in Micronesia. She said Russian troops over the islands.
There you go. So you got Russian troops in there it is, man.
Where?
Micronesia. So they're about Polynesian islands.
The Polynesian Islands?
Yes, Rebecca Burst's sister. She said that Russian troops land on her island and shit.
There it is, man. There it is. So they're gearing up. They're gearing up because those Polynesian islands and the Hawaiian islands, that was all a part of that island hopping campaign that the Marines did in World War II, getting closer and closer to Japan. They call it the island hopping campaign. All right, go ahead, play that, brother.
Earlier this week, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday, President Joe Biden declared a state of emergency in the United States regarding the power grid, stating that places as far north as Michigan could see rolling brownouts and blackouts this year. Now, as bad as it is right now in places like Portland, Minneapolis, New York, I cannot imagine how bad it will become if there are large amounts of time that go by with no power in those regions. The criminals that are being let out of there and already have no fear of the law are just going to be salivating, waiting for the opportunity to step up their game.
There are lots of criminals that are being let out of prison. One of the things is they don't have the funding to take care of them.
That's right.
All right, and a lot of guys are locked up for different reasons. Some of these guys are locked up for domestic stuff and Title 4D.
And petty crime,
All right.
do small stuff.
Okay, so a lot of these guys were locked up for Title 4D. and they can't see their children, and they're very angry. So these men who've actually who've lost their cars, their jobs, their apartments, their homes, as a result of Title 4D and things like that, or divorce, can't see their children. A lot of them are going to come pay a visit when you see that crossed out 911.
This is what the climate people never think about. They're like, well, these are the pains we have to go through to convert over to clean energy. What's going to happen when there's no 911? Yes, that's right, climate activist, liberal. 911 requires an up and functioning power grid 24/7, 365 days a year. Otherwise, it's not really effective. It doesn't work that way. And the psychology is going to change.
Right.
Once areas begin experiencing times when they know that nobody can call 911, they're going to be a lot more bold,
Pause
a lot
right
more
there.
brazen.
Pause
And this is-
it right there. All right. And any scriptures that you got on the subject, and then we'll let it roll again. But what do you think happens in Chicago, New York, Detroit, LA? All right. When the street element and the wrong baby daddy who've been wronged by the court system and the woman and that whole sort of thing, the guy who got divorced, you know, and the wife took his house from him and his children and got some other dude up in the house. All right. Yeah, there's no 911. The lights are out. Okay.
I don't have a job to go to.
Yeah,
Nothing's going on.
It's gonna be pretty bad, man. It's gonna be.
PlayStation.
Matter of fact, what scripture? Because I was first thing popped in my head was he who's my enemy.
Oh, I got one for you.
Go ahead, brother.
This 2 Esdras 15, I'm gonna start at 1. Behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I'll put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
That's right.
Like the title says, man, y'all are in trouble, man. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That's what's coming, man. Sword, which means violence, of course, famine, all right, which is going to lead to more violence. All right, that dog-eat-dog world, man. And the thing about dog-eat-dog is they go for the weaker. Who's the weaker vessel? You women. Y'all in for a rude awakening, man. Esau put you up on that pedestal, but the Lord is going to bring you down. And shit, go right what the other Malcolm just quoted, man. That Micah 7. You probably got it.
Yeah, Micah 7:10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets.
Right.
I was gonna make a quick point because right now, women themselves use their own bodies for money. So here it is. Men are now gonna have the power over you to use your body for money.
Exactly.
And barter it.
It just happened. It just happened. Some 41-year-old man just got arrested for snatching up some 15-year-old girl who came to him willfully in the beginning. But yeah, she wanted to get some older guy stuff because some women like that. But he decided he was keeping her and kept her for 7 months. And during that 7 months, he used her as payments to other men for different services.
There it is.
All right, because he had a habit and decided that you know what, you got skills. I know personally.
That's it.
So you know what, you're gonna use these skills to help, and that's exactly what happened. You know.
This is Isaiah 13. This is Isaiah 13:11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the harshness of the terrible. And you women have been given liberty to gather abroad. And that comes with grace and surprise. The Lord is going to humble you tremendously, man. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So the man is going to get that status back, and more particular, is the men of the Lord, man. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 16. What's part of those evils the Lord is going to bring? Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled. So your kids going to get put to death. Your house is going to get ran through. Like 16 goes into. There's one more part. And their wives ravaged.
Sometimes the children too, because you got a lot of freaks out there.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they showed you that, and there was a scene in The Walking Dead when they tried to rape Carl. They had jumped them, and they were trying to rape the broad, but they were trying to rape the boy too. You know,
like it says in
and
Joel.
Rick went nuts on them and killed them all, but because these men were about to rape his woman and his son.
Yeah, we got those examples of the last Sodom. That's a part of it, being in the land of Sodom.
That's right.
Male rape.
Yeah, kind.
They did it in Katrina.
Yeah, it's a lot of dudes gonna be talking, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not gay. They're gonna be like, nigga, you gay today.
We saw the one nigga in the video. He knocked the dude out. They carried him away by his waistline, man.
He
picked him up like a luggage.
Yeah.
Bro, carried him right off.
Yeah, probably carried him to the alley and got up in his booty hole.
One of them Supermax dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you women really threw. He carried that nigga like a damn suitcase.
Yeah, that
A
shit.
carry-on luggage, so he was under the weight limit. Just picked him right up, bro.
Trouble.
Bring it out, brother. Bring it out.
Hey, this is Jeremiah 4:30. Says, and when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do?
Yeah, with that.
And with that, though thou clothest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting. You see a lot of that now.
Yeah.
These chicks look like baby
I need
dolls.
help.
You women, you used to that bullshit freedom Esau make you delusional shit that you got. You walking outside, little clothes on, all this shit.
Yeah, you got a lot of women making videos, signing, crying, screaming how they need help too.
Right.
On videos, they can't do this, they can't pay that. I've slept in my car. I gotta. Yeah, but you were strong and independent.
Right.
I can't pay this bill. I can't pay that bill. I can't buy gas and keep my apartment. I can't pay gas and keep my house. It's either go to work or buy food. And it's getting down to that. It's people getting desperate. And so in the other video, we'll probably play a little bit of it too. He goes on to talk about all the home invasions that are already happening that the media's not talking about because they don't want to create a panic in the people. So it's already there. These things are already happening in some of these smaller towns, in some of these rural areas where these white people live. All right. A lot of these white people, these so-called white people, these Edomites, are already targeting each other. Because you got to remember in Revelation, the 6th chapter, in the 4th verse, it tells you that they got a great sword, but it also tells you in that same scripture that they would kill one another. So the have-nots among Edom are starting to attack the haves because that's what's around them. So they were so worried about living away from Jake and race wars and all that. Now the haves, the Edomite who have shit, the have-nots are starting to attack them and invade their homes and rob them when they go to work. That's what's happening because that's what's around them. So the media will focus on showing the little Hispanic boy, the little Negro boy, doing crimes in the city. Meanwhile, in these small rural towns and shit like that, shit getting buck wild and they're not reporting on it.
Oh, you know what? That was in that movie, Fun with Dick and Jane. When they lost the Jim Carrey movie.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When they lost their shit, they went straight to crime to rob and shit, man.
Yeah, it is.
They already, I was on TikTok, and there was a video how the woman, she filled up her gas. She got to go, it was an Edomite. She got to go start a car, and the car wouldn't start. And this took it to the shop. Somebody drilled a hole in her damn tank. They ain't even siphon it out. They drilled a hole in her tank and just poured it out. They didn't waste no time. You gotta think, they followed her home. They looked at how much gas she pumped. They knew that she filled her tank up. Women, they don't fucking pay attention to nothing. They don't pay. They don't watch who trailing them. If somebody that made the same turn 2 or 3 times, they just driving oblivious of what's going on, and they took all their gas.
They don't think like we think.
Yeah,
right?
I got a scripture too.
Bring it out, brother.
This is Psalms 94.
That was nice.
Hey, I learned from the best. This is Psalms 94 and 23. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, how our power shall cut them off. So these people, a lot of the things that they into, they own bullshit is what's gonna catch them up. Just
trying to go get some cigarettes. Trying to go get some weed. Them cigarettes gonna get a lot of people caught up, boy.
During the quarantine, that one bitch that got smoked, she was outside 7-Eleven trying to get some squares. She was outside. There was a random shooting. She died. She was in line to get some fucking weed.
Get some damn shit that was killing her slowly anyway. Had she not smoked or broken that wicked ass habit, the bitch would still be alive.
Shit, I was right.
You know what though? It's funny. It's funny.
I know it is funny.
I'm saying it's funny.
And the scripture said we will laugh at their calamity.
That's right. That's right. That's great too.
But what you were saying about how people don't think like that, I remember telling Big Ark I went to the store, and when I came out, my gas wasn't where it was at. And this, that, and other. It was like, hold on, I know I had more gas than when I went to the store. And then the guy that was away from me, he had like a black Hyundai Sonata. His motherfucking gas thing was open. I was like, okay.
Somebody out there.
That quick. That quick.
Yeah, so he took a hose and put it right to his.
Right. Well, as soon as I went in, the 15 to 20 minutes was enough to be able to pull down what it was. Because I came back and I went to start and it was like, hold on, I had more gas than this when I went in here. That quick. And
wow.
I would have bought a can. I would have bought a cap right after that, right? I told him, I was like, man, they out here quick. Bogus.
Yeah, he saw you pull up. He said, shit, that nigga in there. Yeah. He put the hose from your shit to his.
Yeah. That quick.
Wow.
They talking about that in my job. They talking about locking the gates. They said when people come in, they gonna start locking the parking lot. They normally leave the parking lot wide open. They say because that gas is the parking lot.
People are coming into the parking lot.
Into the parking lot, they have a field day. You know, you got Esau. Everybody in there got F-150s, BMW.
Oh man!
So they gonna
have a field
Nigga
day.
got a whole 80. Nigga looking at your shit like 87, 89.
They right. You know what he? You know what? 97 right there.
That's true.
Ezekiel 33, start at 1, read to 4. And again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and saying to them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, and when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and take not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood should be upon his own head. Like y'all been saying, like a lot of these people out here is not paying attention to what's going on. We've been warning. So when these things come and start attacking them, especially these females, hey man, they ain't take warning. So in their blood on their own.
Yeah.
So they can destroy that.
I'm gonna paint a picture for you, man, which is gonna become a lot of these women they're gonna go to the store and they're gonna come out and they're gonna load up their car and somebody's gonna take them. No, they're not gonna get followed. They're gonna take them in their car with all the food in it. So it's like wait a minute. It's like, you know what? I want this food and I want you too. It's gonna be a 2-for-1 because I got a car, I got a trunk full of food, and I got ass and titties. All right, and that's exactly and that's just the reality. It's just the reality. Exactly, brother. Trifecta. You guarantee, just like I told you that there was going to be women that get chained up to poles and chained into basements. That's going to happen too, man. We all remember with the little comedy skit when Big Brody. Wasn't funny to the Edomite though.
Right.
When Big Brody came up, told him he don't pay for shit, you know, and jacked him for his took Jack little Edomite pissed on himself, man. Big 300, right? Big 300-pound swole nigga with a bald head come over and snatch your groceries from you. Little Edomite pissed on himself, man. Right? Now the time gonna come when he let him put it in the trunk, and then he just gonna, you know, throw his ass in the water, tell him to cool off, drive off in his shit, man. All right.
It's getting real, man. Because that actually, like in 2019, a girl was missing for like 5 months. She went to her car. Her boyfriend kept the kids. She went to her car. They said she never, the car was still there. She never been found. Then they found her. She was dead in the building. I forgot where, like about 80 on the east somewhere. She was dead in the building, and then they basically, she was already got, man. This shit getting real, man.
Well, that one Cuban, they had them with 2 little Edomites and a Hispanic girl tied up when the dude let them out.
Oh yeah.
You know, like there's already examples of that out there. In the recent case right here in Chicago, it was like, oh yeah, I think it was a Monday when he took me, and it was like a week later and shit. And she was tied up, well, I think to somewhere in the house.
Yeah,
in
she
the
was
house
in an abandoned house.
Found the help.
Yeah,
She was chained to a radiator with a mattress.
So I don't.
So you already know what the deal was.
That's it.
In those vacant houses, as long as you have insurance, Esau don't fuck with you. The city don't fuck with you. It's only if you don't have insurance. So as long as they're covering their end to be a property in Chicago, nobody goes in there. You know, like the cops don't have to show up.
Right.
If it's declared vacant, they just have to declare nobody's using it and they're not remodeling it. And as long as they have insurance, the city don't come no more. So that's why it makes sense that Oprah was tied up, because really the city, again, is not responding to emergencies.
Right. If it weren't for the kids hearing her make noise, you know, she probably still be in there getting boned. Matter of fact, dude probably be setting her out, making money off of her by now.
I got
all right.
Scripture.
Bring it out, brother.
This is St. Luke 23 and 29. It says, "For behold, the days are coming, in which they shall say, blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bear, which mean never had children, and the paps which never gave suck." All right, because I did a lesson a few years ago called Little Ray Ray the Chicken Nugget. Cannibalism is coming back into big fashion. All right, a lot of things, and like the brothers always bring out that movie, I think it's Mad Max, where they had the lady to breastfeed and get milk.
Oh yeah, all the women they kept them
mother's milk.
Yeah, they kept all the women. They put them on that machine and keep them lactated, so milk was a part of their substance.
Yeah, so
that's probably why dude was so damn swole.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. The bodybuilders, I learned that some years ago, man. The bodybuilders, you know, a lot of them they drink breast milk, and
I showed you that the movie with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, they were doing it in that too.
Yeah, I mean that was a real. That was based on a true story.
Yeah, they will buy. Yeah, get some chick, and chicks will sell you their breast milk. Some of them might give it to you the old fashioned way.
You hook up and draw it out.
It says, verse 30. It says, "Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry?" So, you know,
break that down a little bit more. What the green tree is.
All right. So right now, when you're able to get McDonald's, when you're able to get some pussy, when you're able to get your pharmaceuticals, you know, produce, exactly. You know, we're still in the green tree, and all these wild things that we're describing in the minds of these people is bugged out. Just how much are they gonna do when they ain't got none of that shit?
No production.
Right. No production. No toilet tissue.
Man, these damn cigarette fiends.
Yep.
All right. A lot of people look. We're talking about probably the most heavily medicated society on the planet, man.
Right. No doubt.
So a lot of these people getting ready to get cut off from their medication. So it's gonna be a lot of sick people, because you got people that are on all kind of high blood medication that go eat all the horrible foods still, and then just take the medication to try to counter it. They're not trying to correct or adjust themselves. All right. So as soon as how the hell are you on high blood medication for 20 years?
Duh, exactly.
15, 10 years. How the fuck are you still on that shit? You was on that shit changer. Nobody should be on high blood medication for more than a year or two. To get your body off of that, change your diet, get yourself straight, man.
Exactly. Now you're swallowing pills dry, no water. You've been taking pills too fucking long.
Exactly. So a lot of these people are not going to be able to get their medication, and they're going to get sick and die quickly. And then you're going to have a lot of these mentals, man, you're gonna have fucking Skeletors running around these
That's
bitches,
it.
man.
Yes.
That's it.
All right.
Like you said, all they hallucinogenics and all this other kind of stuff. Because I did a lesson on that where there was a female that was a lawyer, Israelite woman, Southern Kingdom, a lawyer that couldn't get her hands on her. No, she got her hands on her meds, but she didn't take her meds, and the voices in her head told her to run over and kill people. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. It's gonna be a lot of psychos out here.
Absolutely.
A lot of extra death and pain. A lot of blackness. I heard that the screen went black.
Yeah,
That's Indian. That's Esau. But it's gonna be a lot of blackness out here. Hence the reason why you should refer to yourself as a black person. Right? Everything black is not beautiful. Don't believe the hype. They didn't lie to you. All right. They assign that word to you, and it's nothing but negative associated with it.
Hey,
All right.
a lot of these young white veterans that's on psychotropics, they on antidepressants, man. Once they can't get those medicines, man, they're gonna you know they got
Yeah.
they're gonna go in that closet and pull out a Mini Kruger 6, a fully sniper rifle, and get the tearing people off.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I just watched the doctor talk about that. Because you got another thing too. We heard about what's happened to Justin Bieber. Now we won't say no, give them. We won't talk about any medical information, but everybody's aware what Justin and his wife did. Now they both fucked up, and a lot of people that did what they did are all fucked up now. And a lot of them are dying and getting sick and having issues, and then they're trying to blame it on new viruses and new this and new that. But everyone is very well aware of what happened. But you're gonna have people that have lost family members who got them crazy relatives or that crazy person that loved them, who can't get them meds, that was over in Afghanistan, over in Iraq shooting the whole, murdering and killing people in their own land for defending themselves. And then they make a hero of you when you come back here. And then they got post-traumatic stress disorder because they feel guilty for shooting little children and women and shit. All right, them dudes gonna be running around going crazy too. So it's like you're gonna have a lot of people that can't get they psychopathic medication. You're gonna have people that are angry because they listen to the leaders in the society tell them to do these things that have now got them sick or their loved ones sick. And you're gonna don't be shocked when a lot of high-ranking medical officials and people with positions of that have power over people's bodies start getting kidnapped, killed, and murdered, that whole sort of thing when that starts happening too. People like that. So because a lot of people are going to lash out of anger because of the loss of their loved ones and families. So this society is about to go completely, it's about to go nuts. What was that Black Eyed Peas song? It gets retarded in here. No, it was actually called. They changed the words. I got both versions. So the song was actually "Let's Get Retarded." Then they called hell for it. So they got the version of "Let's Get It Started." Yeah, but it was actually "Let's Get Retarded." That was the word. Right.
It's Matthew 24:12. It says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold."
There you go, brother.
That's what's gonna be. A lot of these people out here are gonna get cold, man. You got Esau pushing the iniquity and the high scale. He's dealing unrighteously. People are angry. They're mourning because he's a greedy bastard.
Yeah.
And he's just pushing that vibration all throughout all the people too. People have no moral standards nowadays. So when the bread goes out, hey man, they're not gonna give no fuck.
Right.
Man.
Because
they already don't.
They're right. And that's the thing. In the green tree, they wax, cold and hate each other, and it's about it is about me, I. Right. So when it comes to a dry tree and the production stops and it's things are scarce, your essentials are scarce. You know what I'm saying? How much more are they gonna wax cold?
Yeah, and there's a lot of single women on my block. They live in them houses by themselves and in the neighborhood. And and I got this, the Ephraimite next door to me, his little homie down the street. Them dudes gonna get together. I already know what it is. Now now they're afraid of me, so I ain't I'm not worrying about them. But the chick next door to me,
Oh, wait.
And the chick across the street and them couple chicks down the street. All right, they got that one house. They got all them women in it. Ain't no men in there.
What house is that?
You know? So you know, right. You know, it's a house. It's right one of them houses down the street. Got all them big breasted Israelites in them. But it's a lot of that in the neighborhood.
That's right. And then you got the houses like when you go to your spot. That they got all those idols and all the other shit that's out there.
Oh, yeah,
man, the Most High is about to put a hurting down.
Yeah, anybody with a Mary or a Cesare Borgia, you know, on their line, on their front door, it's like having a great big old kill me sign.
Right. Mark X.
You know,
hey, you know when you go to certain parts in the neighborhood, you get those certain buildings you see with X on the building, like a placard, and this is X on it.
Yeah,
those are buildings that say they condemn, they're not getting rebuilt, they're gonna be condemned for destruction. Everybody got either a righteous check mark on them or that X on them spiritually, where the Most High goes, oh, they fitted for destruction or they fitted for salvation.
Ezekiel 94 all day. But let's play a little bit more of that video, and then we can probably play a little bit of the other video.
Yeah, the Christian, this one right
Yeah,
here.
but let this one play a little bit more. Like I said, this is the Florida Marquise. You know, for you listeners out there, you people that are listening and learning, you know, this is a good one to subscribe to. Like I said, in my opinion, you know, he has the best information geopolitically than any other channel, man.
They're going to be a lot more bold.
And Salaki, just pause it for a moment. Now I'm going to say that too because of all his connections, all his friends that high-ranking people that are still in the military, and then he was a part of the intelligence community. So that's why he's
still connected.
He's connected. He knows people, so he gets information.
Right.
So go ahead.
And this is going to have to affect the psychology of women, especially who want to continue to stay in those regions. Now, earlier today, we dropped part 4 in our series about shit's the fan as it regards women. And
part 4.
Some take an issue with it. Some don't completely agree with all of the allegations that I've made. But in today's video, we put together some pretty good scenarios that I think would make a lot of women think, and a lot of men as well. But if you'd like to join us over there, it's only $1 US per month. And we have dozens and dozens of videos on many topics. The last 4 have been this particular one, but it's less than $1 a month if you sign up for an entire year.
Who makes 4 videos on shit hits the fan and the condition of women when it happens?
Like
this shit is real, man.
Talk about things. And if it's not for you, fully refundable 90 days. We talked about the psychological aspect of being able to behave in a certain way that makes others around you behave differently. Now, this is one of the images that we showed. And when you look at it initially, when people see this image, they'd be like, oh boy, you know, that guy with the knife, he's got a surprise coming. But anybody who's actually used a ballistic weapon properly would see that she's in trouble. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Or like, hey, how could he has a knife, she has a gun. Haven't you ever heard, don't bring a knife to a gun? With that weapon behind her back in one hand and the purse in the other hand and him at that range, it's very likely, in fact, it's almost 100% likely, he'll be able to get that knife in her before she can get a round off at him. And this was something that was confirmed by one of my viewers who does this type of training. This is Tim Bassett. We've talked about his health training, the workout training. He's a man in his 60s. He's here in Jacksonville, Florida. Absolutely fantastic source of great nutrition advice and exercise advice and staying in shape. But he's also trained with handgun and trains people with handguns. And he agreed by watching that video. He's like, absolutely, she's in huge trouble. With only one hand on that weapon and it being behind her back and at that distance, He's done the math, the calculations. By the time it would take her to get that weapon out and get it up, he could be on her in a matter of less than a second. Now, this is his channel. This is a video he put up earlier today. I had no idea he was going to do this, by the way. Responding to this, 12 June, distance for protection. How to back up. And how to keep your distance with somebody who may only have a knife, but even then, as you can see in this particular case, 2 hands, this looks like at least 6 to 8 feet. This looks much closer. And once again, to kick that gun around and wheel it up and get center mass in the time it takes this guy to make one lunge with that knife, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So the whole point of it being a psychological operation is you see the picture from an untrained perspective and you have one opinion, whereas the reality is something completely different. And that's what we talk about over the Patreon channel. And it kind of leads into the main topic of today's video of the idea of being unprepared doesn't mean you don't have a gun. It doesn't mean you haven't been to the range. It doesn't mean you don't have a huge grocery store underneath your house. It doesn't even mean that you don't go to the gym. It's about decision making. Most of the guys that are going to end up in FEMA camps are going to be there talking about how much time they spent at the range, how many things they have stored in the basement.
Damn.
They're going to make one or
The
two
unprepared.
bad
That shit legendary, man.
based on emotion and not thought.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to get them wound up in places like this. See, this is something else we talked about on the Patreon channel. It's a simple, easy decision. Now, I talk about this in the context of something a woman could do to secure her home in a way that would make her front door almost, for all real intents and purposes, just another wall. Because when you put the bolts in, of course, to the door frame, you throw in the 2x4 to a blocking device like this, nobody's kicking this in. The Incredible Hulk isn't kicking this in. He'll kick the wall, off of the ceiling before you'll kick the door down. And it's simple. It's, I think, $40 for the brackets and maybe $5, $7, $8, $10 for the 2x4 windows. But it's a super simple thing to do.
Pause it.
To install brackets.
They got that may stop the average person, but they have breaching tools that'll still get through that.
Exactly.
That ain't shit.
All right. Yeah, then right, and then I'll tell you a shotgun to blow the locks off. Right. And then right. So if someone that knows what they're doing is gonna come through it, that will slow someone down and stop the average person, the average untrained person. What that will do is that'll give you a chance to respond, but that's about it. But if somebody wants to get in there, they're coming in there.
But they make they actually make muzzle bricks. They make
Muzzle breaches.
You got a shotgun that has a teeth on it just for that purpose.
Well, man, you have a situation like this with a forced entry situation, right? This is a problem, right? So the easiest way to get into a place is through where? A window or a wall. You breach the wall, especially in apartment buildings like this right here. This may be an apartment building. So you don't have to go through the door. If there's a problem with the door, we go through the wall. And just like the elder just brought up the X with the buildings in the city of Chicago, the X, he said the X, that's that mark again, right? Okay, the X with the Plano X indicates sound structure. Structurally, the building is structurally sound. Sound doctrine, right? Those of us have sound doctrine, and those of us don't have sound doctrines are the ones with the box with the X in it. See, you follow? And it says the sound doctrine, it's spiritual, spiritual connection. That mark, the mark of exemption from punishment. The angels are gonna know who they are because of the X, the mark. Yeah.
Right.
Just filtering through the scriptures. That's all.
And then some people who have done this, that could just become their tune. And even in the Marine Corps, You know, when we were breaching, when there was a door that was blocked, we went through the wall. We have, matter of fact, we had weapons that were designed to punch a hole in walls just so we could go in.
Exactly.
It's been
right.
It was in the movies.
These frame houses, they
You
don't
know?
need build houses with
And-
brick in them no more.
Right. So
They
they
can
know
easy
exactly.
Might be easier than going through the damn door.
So so just putting it out there.
I mean, because
That this may help you for a short period of time, but if the Lord is not with you, nothing's gonna help you.
I got a precept.
Go ahead, bring it out, brother.
This is
And
Jeremiah.
another thing with that zombie thing, when you looking at Edomites using that word zombie, that's code for niggers. In case you know, when they talk about the zombies coming, they're often talking about so-called black folks.
Undesirable.
Right.
They are zombies. They ain't listening and trying to hear shit.
Shit, all these Americans are zombies. But yes, you're right. Our people are zombies. Go ahead.
It's Jeremiah 15:2. This shall come to pass if they say to thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And that's going to what he says. It's going to come down to what carnal means in carnal sense, the decisions they make, they're going to be, I did all this training, I got all this, yet I'm still caught up and put the FEMA camp. Because it's the Lord's will, man. The Lord kill and make it laugh. The Lord decided who's going to get the sword, who's going to die by the famine, who's going to get caught up and for putting these camps, man. All right, says in Deuteronomy, you can't deliver from the Lord's hand.
His ass gonna be in it
And it was a young boy that got shot 35 times and survived, and he's still able to walk, move, and everything. And made a rap video about it. And
Just so you can die later.
and they was when they was shooting him, he fell to the ground. They was even shooting him over top of his body, hit him a couple of times in the face, back, everything. And he still able to walk all of that. And I was like, and he said, I don't even know how I'm gonna survive. I'm alive, but the point is, it was the Lord preserved your ass. And he was like, man, it had to be God because I should have been dead. He got shot more than 50 Cent.
Yeah, he right. He got shot way more than 50 Cent. Hey. But only to end up dying in a famine, or end up dying when the fire comes. You know,
or get the truth.
Or he may, get the truth, and we don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty rough ordeal, man. Just let you
still alive. That's the thing that made that song, right?
No, you're right. It wasn't that. He was kind of fucked up by it.
He's singing Gloria Gaynor song. He will survive.
He got shot up and made a whole rap song talking about still alive. 1 foot. Yeah. There's some nigga shit, man. These niggas don't got that nigga is going on. This Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make it alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So it's all about the will of the Heavenly Father, man. If you ain't got the Lord, you're gonna die. You're gonna find judgment.
Right.
Judgment's gonna find your ass.
Man. The scripture said that the Lord says that every hair of your head is numbered. All right, he's saying the Most High got all of this. He said a bird can't fall out the sky unless he ordained it. Right. So that's the reason why if you really trust in the Lord, He got you, because the Lord knows that trust us and cares for Him.
In all my ways, acknowledge Him. He should
right that path. That's right.
Look at the Lord. He can make you seem invisible to somebody else.
He did it with Yahushua multiple times, and other men in the Lord, where they were in the crowd and He just disappeared in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? The Lord can do that.
God.
The same video?
Yeah, that a little bit more.
Like this, at the doorways to your home. I've never seen a prepper video about it. If someone can show me a prepper video talking about zombie bar bracket installations, I would love to see it. It's a wonderful tool to avoid the conflict. And I think that's why you don't see a lot of preppers talking about it, because most preppers like to talk about what happens when there already is conflict, not how to avoid conflict. One of the things that happened in the medieval world that doesn't happen now is people used to live together. in groups. In homes, very, very few people will ever live alone or one or two people. Large families live together. That's what gave them the security, largely in one room. If one person woke up, they all woke up.
That makes me think of Apostle Ramla, when he said, like, speaking on brothers and how brothers might have beef with brothers or whatever. In that day and time when the Lord comes, he said, who knows that brother you think you got beef with is that brother you're going to have to depend on. And y'all be sheltered in together with. All right? And
be on the run.
Yeah, or be on the run.
In the woods together. Or you might be locked up with that very brother.
That's right. That's why we, men of the Lord, we might make our minds where we open up our heart and soul to all the men of the Lord, to be able to deal whatever we have to do with those men of the Lord, because we never know what situation we're going to end up being in. So what's the best thing to do? Be prepared for whatever, with the Spirit of the Lord, and whatever. But to be there, you have to be dealing right now for that time.
Right, so they prove otherwise.
Put on the other video.
You know what I'm saying? So they prove otherwise. That's why brothers, you know what I'm saying, end up working with brothers, that so-called being in fault. JB working with that. JB versus.
What he was talking about. Another thing, a thing that Saint Benji, he said a lot is know your brother. You can actually avoid a lot of situations and conflict with brothers if you actually understand your brother. If you know what your brother, his strong points and his weak points, you know what to expect from him. You know not to put something that
certain temptations.
Something that Benji goes into a lot. He says, know your brother.
Yeah,
he says, know your brother. Yeah. If you don't know who your brother is and what kind of vibration he is, that's on you.
Right, that's your fault because you didn't spend
and then just being trying to be brotherly. Yeah. So because it could be universal, because you could end up being locked up with a brother you ain't never really dealt with. From another camp, from another state. And so how are you going to say that about him? So it just comes down to just being brotherly. If we are all one body in Yahushua, then you just you don't know that brother's habits and his things he likes and he don't like, things that set him off.
That's right.
So it just really comes down to being brotherly.
And not only being brotherly, but being brotherly with the understanding that, look, I openly love you, accept you, and willing to deal with you, and understanding that the Lord is dealing with you as the Lord is dealing with me. A lot of times people get their egos involved. Well, I want to shine. I want to flex. Oh, this body. No, the Most High don't do none of that. It's a body. And every member of the body, as the scripture says, has a job in particular.
Yeah, and that don't boast itself against the finger.
That's it. That's it.
Well, whatever place you come in, it's all through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua anyway. And then it says, hey, well, the greater he made you, the more humble thyself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got a quick one, just a quick one on what y'all speaking on. This Matthew 22, and I'll start at 26. Master, which is the greatest commandments in the law? Yahushua said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord Yahweh, thy most high power God, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
That's powerful, brother. Right on time, too.
Yep.
Man, he was there for the alley-oop on that one.
You can do those too. You can do those too. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. Right. Yeah. And then they hang all the rest, man.
And it's like, you're not gonna pay to do that. You just do it because it's in your spirit. It's right to do, man.
It's the Israelite thing to do.
The things that our people are going to die the most for are free. Love is one of them. If this world is able to suck all the love out of you, you might as well just die. I mean, what are you here to do? Are you just going to bring destruction for the rest of your life? And people don't see why the Lord ain't going to save a person like that. You allow this world to kill who you are inside, to where your ability to have some kind of compassion and empathy towards your neighbor is gone. You're useless to the world. And I just named about 85 to 90% of all black women. I mean, seriously.
You know, I'm a big
Dude, Pookie, I loved him, but he hurt me, so fuck you. And it's like, that's the man that God sent to make up for Pookie, but you and fuck you know. So what are you living for?
A lot of people come down for self-range.
Yeah.
And Pookie shows you all kind of signs that you weren't supposed to be with him anyway. That you still laid down and let him put babies in you. Your dumb ass. All right? Right. And then somebody come around willing to deal with you and them little wicked ass seeds of his. And then, yeah, but whatever, man. Let's play a little bit of this video.
Venezuela working together with Iran, with the president, the leader of Venezuela, saying that the era of the United States military dominance of the world is over. If people can't understand that, that means we are at war.
Right, and that was basically it. Matter of fact, play it one more time. What he just said. Turn it up a little bit.
Let me say that to you again. This is Venezuela working together with Iran, with the president, the leader of Venezuela, saying that the era of the United States military dominance of the world is over. If people can't understand that, that means we are at war right now.
Stop it right there.
Then they're never going to get it.
And now there's also reports that there are Russian troops on the ground in Venezuela and a couple other places down in South America. So you got troops that are right in the back door of this place, man. This thing is about to go down, man. Right? And that's what he's talking about here, the Florida Marquis was talking about this a couple of years back. Because I did lessons on it. And now it's showing itself to be exactly true. China's active down there too. All right. So while America is trying to surround Russia via Ukraine with NATO, they've done the same thing. Plus, you got Taiwan. You got the Taiwan issue with China, and basically China said they're gonna go to war with America or anyone else, and they're willing to go to nuclear situation if it need be. Because you have to understand, man. How you think America would act if if one of these countries decided to take Hawaii back? If somebody decided to say, well, you know, Hawaii ain't yours, they've never been yours, it's way off your shores. So, but then America wants to try to take Taiwan away from China when it's right there.
That's right.
You know, the real reason why they dropped those two bombs. What happened?
That was their way into the war. So that was their excuse. That was done on purpose. So, and that's another thing. This man operates. He'll allow people in death to come. He'll do wag the dog events where people get shot up in public places and all that just to enforce his policy. He'll sacrifice people they just become collateral damage for what his desires, his carnality is. Simple as that.
Yeah, and if I may, real quick, because the scriptures talk about the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. And then another scripture it says that he mustered the host of the battle. Right. So this is the Lord pulling all these strings of all this stuff that's going down.
Right. And the valley of Jehoshaphat is still hot. So it's all. Say what you say and then let him bring that out. Because we're going to finish with that. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon and his purposes that he hath purged against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. This is another Cuban Missile Crisis scenario all reset and we had
in multiple places around the world. Exactly. Because the Turks just went into Syria and the Israelis are mad because what the Turks are trying to do is take shit that the Israelis want.
Right.
All right. So, but they're all being mustered into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
And that goes to that Obadiah. He said there's a rumor from an ambassador for the Most High. The Most High is putting the hooks in the Russian jaws and Ukraine and fucking with these people that the Most High is mustering the battle, man. You will not be able to stop the Most High's plan.
And all societies are going to collapse as a result of it because the depletion of goods and services and power and things and food and resources because of everything going to the war effort.
This is Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, which It's going to what Yahweh was saying. The Lord is doing all these things. He controls the hearts of the king. And it's for one main purpose. Of course, to bring destruction to the wicked, but to deliver us out of captivity.
That's it.
This is why the title is y'all in trouble.
Yeah.
This is our deliverance right here.
Right. If they say, like it talks about in that Psalms too, you know, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? And they trying to vie for the next top spot. But here it is, the Lord already said his king. You know what I'm saying? Yahushua to be the next ruler of but this transition is the transition from this present evil world to the eternal kingdom, you know. But all these plagues and wars and pestilences and things has to happen. And this is what's going on right now, all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah.
Wow. All right. Speak on that, brother. Then we're gonna shut it down.
No, well, basically how the brother had mentioned how there's Russian troops in Nicaragua, which is basically bordering Salvador and Honduras, and then also the Russian troops in Venezuela, which is bordering Colombia. So like on multiple fronts. And look, Esau's going to show these idolatrous Latinos too, man. He's going to use a sword on you guys too, because that's going to be a lot of bloodshed, man. You know, because they basically what they're fighting for is to be able to set up bases to go on an all-out war. You know, so Esau ain't it ain't boding well for Esau, because the Latin American countries are talking about unifying and making a so-called Southern EU between those countries, man. So again, the Lord is moving all the pieces, and like in Ezra says, where it says, "Until that measure be complete." Right. If all that was mounting to this, and this how fast it's coming down the pipe, the Lord warned us. The prophets warned us, and Sirach 39:1 tells you that he that meditates basically on the law thinks about the prophet, the ancient. So everything that Daniel, Jeremiah, Isaiah that had to come to pass is about to come to pass, man.
This is back in Joel. I'm just jump down. Joel 3:9. Proclaim this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together around the belt. This will cause that mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. And of course, that's in the Bethel host effect, but it starts now. 2 Corinthians 13 goes into it. It says, there shall they leave off the wars that every country is having in their own lands, and then go there. So this is the beginning of it, man. Wars and rumors of wars. There's going to be violence, as Yahweh Shai said. He wished the fire was kindled when he came. It's going to turn up, man.
Yeah. And then in the midst of that, by the end of that, everybody's going to turn on America, because you got to think all the countries are seeing America and the so-called white man as the problem in the earth. That's the conversation among most melanated people.
And it's been growing for a while.
You know, being that the majority of the world is melanated, you know. Now we ain't on that color thing, but I'm just mentioning that because that's when you're watching social media, that's what's happening. The melanated people of the earth are identifying white people as the problem of the earth. All right. So with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekakadash.
Wow,
Abad Babal.
Turn those. I got something I want to share with y'all, brother.